In 2009, the world watched in shock as news broke. Natasha Richardson, the radiant, Tony Award-winning actress and beloved wife of Liam Neeson, had died suddenly after a skiing accident in Quebec. What began as a seemingly minor fall turned tragic within hours. And just like that, Neeson, then 56, was left a widower, father to two grieving teenage boys, and facing a pain he later called the hardest thing I've ever endured. But instead of retreating from the world, Neeson did something remarkable. He returned to work, not for fame, not for escape, but to raise his sons, keep his family afloat, and honor Natasha's memory through action, not just words. Liam Neeson and Natasha Richardson met in 1990, rehearsing Tennessee Williams' Anna Christie on Broadway. He was a rising Irish actor. She was the daughter of legendary actress Vanessa Redgrave and director Tony Richardson, a star in her own right. Their chemistry was instant. But it wasn't just passion, it was deep compatibility. Both were serious about craft, humble off stage, and fiercely devoted to family. They married in 1994 in a quiet ceremony at her family's estate in upstate New York. Over the years, they built a life filled with laughter, art, and two sons, Michael and Daniel. In interviews, Neeson often called Natasha his rock. She grounded him, she challenged him, and she gave him a home, not just a house, but a sanctuary. As he once said, "She made me a better man, a better father, a better actor, just by believing in me." Their love wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that's what made the loss so devastating. On March 16, 2009, Natasha was teaching a beginner ski lesson at a resort in Mont-Tremblant, Canada. She fell, what appeared to be a minor tumble. She refused medical help at first, even joked about it. But within hours, she developed a severe epidural hematoma, a rare but deadly brain bleed. By the time she was airlifted to a New York hospital, it was too late. Liam rushed to her side. Their sons were brought in. And on March 18th, surrounded by family, Natasha died at age 45. The world mourned. But for Liam, the grief was unimaginable. In a rare 2011 interview with Anderson Cooper, he described the moment he knew she wouldn't survive. "I kissed her. I told her, 'You're not coming back from this.' And she just held my hand and let go." He later said that in that instant, "My life split in two." In the months that followed, Neeson could have walked away from acting. He had the means. He had the right. But he had two sons, 13 and 12 years old, who had just lost their mother. And he knew they needed stability, routine, a father who showed up. So he returned to work. His first film after Natasha's death was Clash of the Titans, a big-budget action epic where he played Zeus. On the surface, it was just another role, but behind the scenes, it was therapy. He later admitted, "Work saved me, not because it distracted me, but because it gave me a reason to get up, to be strong for my boys." He chose projects carefully, often roles about loss, protection, or redemption. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Silence, Ordinary Love. And through it all, he raised his sons as a single father, attending school events, coaching soccer, making dinner. He shielded them from the spotlight, even turning down roles that would take him away for too long. As Michael later said in an interview, "Dad never let us feel alone. He was always there, even when he was broken." Neeson didn't just grieve, he honored. He became a vocal advocate for helmet safety and traumatic brain injury awareness, though he never blamed the ski resort or made it political. His message was simple: be aware, be cautious. These things can happen to anyone. He also kept Natasha's spirit alive in quieter ways. He still visits her favorite places in New York and Ireland. He speaks to her every day. In a 2016 interview, he said, "I talk to her. I tell her about the boys. I ask her for advice. It's how I stay connected." and he ensured his sons knew her through stories, photos, and values. Both boys have pursued acting, and both speak of their mother with awe. In 2023, Daniel said, "Mum's kindness lives in us, and Dad made sure of that." Neeson also turned down a knighthood in 2020, not out of pride, but because Natasha's family, the Redgraves, are lifelong Republicans. He respected her beliefs, even in death. That's the depth of his love. Not performative, but persistent. Liam Neeson has played kings, saviors, warriors, and gods. But his most heroic role has been this one: a grieving husband who chose love over despair, a father who turned pain into presence. He didn't move on from Natasha. He carried her forward in his work, his parenting, and his quiet daily acts of remembrance. In a world that often treats grief as something to get over, Neeson showed us that true strength isn't in forgetting. It's in remembering and living in a way that honors what was lost. If this story touched you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who's known loss. You're not alone. This is Legend Story, where the greatest legends aren't written in scripts, but in the courage to keep loving even when your heart is broken. Thank you for watching.